All right. So I know this has been long waited. I was supposed to get to you like last week, maybe even 2 weeks ago. So sorry about that. Yes, I'm also on the toilet while doing this. I also believe that's very justified considering that Kanye is shit. Messing with you. No. So here's my overall kind of Kanye summary slash review. Um, so just to start, once again, my familiarity with Kanye beforehand. There's a lot of kids in high school who always talked about how much they love Kanye, and I was just like, all right, whatever. Like his music was never that great to me. His rapping was never awesome. And like as the years kind of went on, I started to I don't want to say care more about him, but definitely be more interested. Not because of his music though, but simply just because he was a headline grabber. The very first time I really remember him in the headlines was with the Taylor Swift thing. And then after that, it was like I remember all the Yeezus stuff where he was just like went on that rant, like I mentioned earlier in the previous video in Sacramento, and no, that was during the Life of Pablo actually sessions, I think. But yeah, how he was just kind of wilding out still though, and then yeah, during the Life of Pablo era where he like mental health issues were going on, he went on the rant, and then it was just kind of constant. He was just constantly in the news for like doing some stupid shit. Um, like I said, it wasn't until the Life of Pablo that I really actually took interest in. That was the first album I listened to, which I really liked originally. I was very surprised by it. Um, and so yeah, so that was like kind of my previous familiarity with Kanye. But out of all my friends love him, all my favorite artists love him. The only two rappers I really listened to in like 2011, 2012 were Childish Gambino and Tyler the Creator, and both of them look up to Kanye. Childish Gambino gave almost all his credit to Kanye and that creativity, and then Tyler did a lot of the same, and so uh, it was kind of weird, like why I liked these art. Like my favorite artists were people who were inspired by Kanye, but I just myself didn't like Kanye. So here we are now. Went back over this past month or so, maybe 2 months, whatever. Did these reviews. Was it like six, 7 albums, 8 albums, whatever it was. Um, I was like, these are not including his collab albums like Watch the Throne and whatnot, or even Kids See Ghosts, which if I included that, that'd raise it because goddamn, Kids See Ghosts was an amazing album. Um, but yeah, so overall summary, um, I'm definitely more appreciative of Kanye, hands down. Um, I definitely see like I really appreciate artists who could do more than one iteration of themselves, who could just constantly change it up, like whether you think that change was good or not, but nevertheless you try it. So example of a change I didn't like when Bino did all his like early rapping shit. It was kind of really indie, like weird, like rapping, and kind of got a little bit bigger, and then he came out with God damn, I can't even think of the album right now. But the one with the blue cover or whatever. Oh, my awakening, awaken my heart, awaken my love. When it came out with awaken my love, like, not saying that was a bad change, but it just wasn't So for me, it was like a very 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 drastic change. Like he came out and just kind of really on a way reinvented himself, like did something different. Tyler when he first dropped Flower Boy, and then definitely now with Igor. Like it was a very changed stylistically in music. A lot of people would argue that his earliest stuff was better, but nevertheless, or a lot of people argue the opposite too. That's newer stuff is better, but either way, better or not, he changed himself. Kanye, I could solidly say I feel has done that multiple times over. His first three albums, College Dropout, Graduation, or College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation, all sound very different from 808s and Heartbreaks, Um, and then that sounds solidly different from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, that sounds solidly different from Yeezus. Life of Pablo, I wouldn't call Life of Pablo like a directional switch or whatever, but like it was it almost looks like a compilation. You know how like TV shows will have like highlight reel episodes where like they have highlights but of like clips you've never seen before, so it's like all like fresh stuff. Community has an episode like this, Paradigms of Memory Shift or something like that. um uh But that's what I feel like Life of Pablo was. It almost felt like a compilation of just best hits, but they were all just new songs. And so it's just like all a bunch of top tier quality songs, in my opinion, that all kind of had different sounds from all his previous stuff. Um, Yay. I don't know if I call that, once again, a new iteration of Kanye. Uh, I don't know what to really say about Ye. But then Jesus is King is definitely a different iteration of Kanye. Like it or not, it's him really reinventing himself again. Still similar sounds of older stuff, but I can really, really, really respect him for never settling and making the same album. Like, whether I like him or not, he is a true creative, and I will for sure respect that. A true creative, and I could definitely see how my favorite artists were inspired by him and him being. And like, I'm listening to a lot of once again all that stuff in 2020. Like, I can't imagine back listening in what 03, 04, whenever his stuff early started coming out, and like when 808s first came out back in his time, I could imagine like those were definitely boundary pushing back then. And so once again, mad props to his creativity. Production wise, I think throughout his entire discography, Kanye has had solid production. Some better than others. The production on 808s, great. Very minimalistic too, but great. The production on Yeezus. Yeezus might have some of my favorite production because it's very like big soundscapey. Usually like minimalist stuff, but like the way he's able to like really come into like I think that was one of the albums where I mentioned like I feel like he really really was doing this whole like orchestrating thing, just like kind of putting all these different sounds and artists together and whatnot. Like he was really on his top notch producer shit right there, and then. Just kind of kept it going. And I especially feel that, I know I didn't review this, but I especially felt that with Kids See Ghost. Production was top notch, I feel, And he's always willing to experiment with the production too. So once again, just mad respect to the boy. Mad respect to him. Rapping. So here's why I never originally liked Kanye. It's because once again, everyone puts things in boxes and categories, and he was in the rap hip hop category. And so it was just every time I heard him, I'm like, I don't like his rapping is not that great. I just don't get it. Like I feel like there's other people who could rap a lot better than him. Just keeping it real. I mean, during the time, so early 2000s, I was probably listening a lot of like 50 Cent, maybe Luda at the time, Eminem, and then I don't know. You could think of all whatever the biggest rappers were, continuing out from the 2000s to early 2010s, but it's just like there were always way better rappers than him, rappers that had lyrics that I cared more about and all that. So yeah, it just once again never attracted me because of that. That being said, going back and listening to all these albums, there are parts that are better than others. I will 100% say. College, I've already mentioned multiple times. College Dropout, great rapping, great content, all that stuff, amazing. Late Registration, really, really even better rapping in my opinion. Production was down, whatever, but like even better rapping in my opinion. I'll have to go listen to Graduation again. Maybe I just didn't catch something because everyone like praises that album and I just felt like it was shit. I'll have to go back and listen to that album. But and then I felt his rapping just after that just really started to go downhill. It was some heartbreaks. I feel like I'm also missing an album. But My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I didn't feel like the rapping was all that great, to be honest, if I remember correctly. Same with Yeezus. I feel like I'm definitely skipping an album or whatever. And then it was really on Life of Pablo. I didn't feel like his rapping came back until the Life of Pablo. Like I said, it's just I feel like I don't know. I feel like he was really barring out on that album. Like No More Parties in LA is just that's prime Kanye. Like, that's the best rapping I heard from Kanye since his first album, in my opinion. Like that, like he was just going bars, and like even though his content wasn't as woke, fight the power as it was back in College Dropout, maybe era. Like it was still content wise, it's just about the personal struggles he was going through. Cousin still on his laptop, you dirty motherfucker. Like all that stuff, was just really him like really just rapping about the shit that was going on, and it really went back to that rapping Kanye. and then once again kind of fell back off with Ye and whatnot. So I could see definitely why beforehand I didn't give his rapping any credit, because if you took his whole discography and just randomly picked a song, there's a chance it wasn't going to be a great rapping song. But he does have great rapping skills. He does have those skills, and it's rarely shown, in my opinion. He focuses, he just focuses more on the production or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, that being said, I think what else to say about Kanye. Again, I think a lot of his political antics, or I should say media antics and political antics, kind of like clouded a lot. And I think that those antics influence his music even more. But I mean, the man's talented, regardless. Like that's one thing I can never take away from him. He's talented. He's creative. I would say he's probably one of, if not the most influential rapper of the 2000s. I give the 2010s to Tyler, but I'll argue anybody on that. But yeah, incredibly influential, incredibly creative. Whether I like his music or not, I'm happy for him because he influenced all my favorite rappers. So I'm happy about it. To be honest, and like I'm still looking to every new Kanye album. Looking forward to every new Kanye album. I'll be excited to see what he drops next, and I'll listen to it. Hopefully, it's not trash, but I'll check it out. And so, yeah, overall, some Sunday Kanye. Next up, I believe, is Outkast, if I remember correctly. My homie mentioned Outkast, so you'll get your first Outkast review soon. Bam.